So this is some more, this is from the Radio Advertising Bureau website, just some other reasons, for radio that, so that, the RAB is representing radio in the radio industry to advertisers and saying why they should do radio. They're also representing radio to the government, local, federal, state government, if there are any issues on anything. So here's the four A's is let's see, Advertising Agency Association of America. Or it's the American Advertising, anyway, it's ad agencies. Okay. She's the president. So that's a high level person for ad agencies. So here she is, right? So telling you audio is powerful. There's that word audio used again. It's interesting. Um, Here's another thing from the website. Listeners connect. They like on air personalities. Yeah, for sure. Here's another reason, this local feel. Some of this repeats some things that we already said about the strengths of radio, but which is good. Um, so this is how the RAB is selling radio. So, all right. So hopefully we've now done a quick covering of the industry. We're kind of wrapping things up here. Where do we come out? Um, Radio CPM. You can look at the light blue. You see a CPM of about $10 here. So radio's not the cheapest, but not, it's also far from the most expensive in terms of a cost per, and this is old. Remember, this is a few years old, but it's still not too far off. Um, okay. I used to talk about measurability with um, things. But anyway, so we talked about CPM, quality of impression, and then measurability. But I actually don't want to talk too much about measurability. In terms of the quality of the impression, well, all right. So we've got to say for sure that you don't have a ton of depth of sale. You can run a long radio. I mean, but then again, all right, but hold on. I mean, I've heard some DJ reads, I've heard some podcast hosts talk quite a bit about more than a minute, sometimes a couple of minutes about a product. So, yeah, the depth of sale actually is flexible. Okay, let's say that. In terms of engaging senses, it's only audio, but we've talked about that. We talked about how you can get your creative to work a little harder, to really engage the imagination, and that can be a good thing. So, all right. On the measurability, I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to get rid of this because it bothers me. Um, I've kind of gone away from this, so I apologize, an old slide from other days. Future radio. Well, when is going to be radio's finest hour? By the way, just a couple things about radio. If we were live in class, I would show you inside my knapsack is a miniature transistor radio that I take with me just in case. Look, I've been caught in a couple of power outages, blackouts in New York. I've lived here long enough to have been through at least two that I can remember, not counting the hurricane, which just hit us a few years ago. And I'll tell you, when there's a power blackout, it's hard to get through on your cell phone because activity is so high, it really crashes the capacity. This is what happened in the last blackout, anyway. So how do you get your local news? How do you know what the hell is happening? Is radio, okay? Radio can still broadcast. They're going to broadcast emergency information. Could be very useful. You see these movies, after the bomb drops and everything, and they show people. I've seen films, people in these old villages living almost like Native Americans, in a fort, the end of civilization, and you've got shortwave radios, which is a different frequency of radio wave that travels a very long distance, and that's how they're talking to each other and getting their news. So, and right here in the disaster supplies kit, third thing down, battery powered hand crank radio. So Radio's got a future. It's never going away. Um, I also, like you to think about this is the actress Jodie Foster. I don't know if you guys are that familiar with her. She's not really acting too much anymore. She was a child star. She was in Taxi Driver, Martin Scorsese. She's a really good actress. She's won at least two Oscars, maybe three, I forget. Um, um, we're going to take a look at this little clip in a minute, but first, I just want to make the point when we send a spacecraft, a Mars rover, to the surface of Mars, how do you think it's sending images back? How do you think we're communicating with it and maybe giving it instructions? You think there's a wire? No, same as your cell phone, same as your garage door opener. Radio waves are sending back the photographs taken on Mars. It takes a while to get the distance, but that's how it's done. So, and speaking of radio waves in space, I want you to look at this little video. I think it's the trailer for a very interesting movie having to do with the search for extraterrestrial intelligence called SETI. And this really is happening. This is a movie about it, but there really are receivers listening for radio signals from across the universe, as John Lennon would say. We're looking for something out of the ordinary that sounds like it's generated by an intelligent life. So we're going to watch this little video. Um, I'm probably just going to finish up here and then you can watch the video. But all right, so where do we come out? Yes, radio is a cat with nine lives, and radio is used for all kinds of amazing things. Okay, so now, as you can see, we're up to the point where Barbara joined us, which she did and did a great job for us. Um, I hope you guys, by the way, are excited about working with her. I know she's really excited about working with the class. This is going to be, we don't have a lot of time to pull things together for her, right? Because she's launching this event like in a week. Um, so, but we can't just shoot from the hip and do a bunch of things without having a plan, right? If there's one thing I hope that you guys have learned about marketing from me, is that you need to have objectives, you need to have a strategy, you need to know who you're talking to, what you're trying to accomplish, and we're going to try to get all that done very quickly, um, and then turn you loose on actually doing things for Barbara. So, okay, um, okay.